I'm a big fan of enjoying the little moments in life. Each day is a new beginning and has so many opportunities to learn and grow and be grateful, and especially when we go through challenges. And that's why for the past 7 years, I've been using these 1 line a day journals, or they're called 5-year diaries, to just record everything happening in my life. And I actually love these so much. I've gifted a lot of these to my close friends. Basically, there are 365 pages in the journal, and each page has the date on it, and you write a small section each day. And once a year has passed, you go back to January 1st and continue writing in the second section. By the way, make sure you stay until the end of this video so you learn how to not waste your time when you're using these journals in the long term. And if you're wondering why the heck you should use a journal like this, there are actually a lot of benefits, like being able to remember the small things, track your growth, reflect back on the end of the day with gratitude, see what you did on important dates each year, like on your birthday, and reconnect with friends that you haven't talked to in a long time, and be more present each day. And I actually made a way more in-depth video about why I think you should journal and how it can change your life. You can check it out right here. And if you're wondering where you can get these types of journals, they are really popular, and I got mine from the Indigo store, but you can get them on Amazon or just, I think any bookstore that sells a bunch of journals should probably have it. And I've linked this journal and some other ones that I really like in the description box so you can check it out. So there's actually not a lot of space for you to write things in this journal, so I wanted to give you some of my best tips after 7 years of writing in these journals on how I use them and how you can get the most out of it. So the first one is to use abbreviations for people in your life that you always write about. So for me, my boyfriend's name is Jimmy. So every time I write about Jimmy, I actually just write J. So I don't have to write the entire name, and it saves a little bit of space. So my next tip is to not use super long sentences and to not use complete sentences. So for me, I typically just write like 1 to 3 words for a sentence. Especially for if you're describing what you're doing. You don't want to take up too much space because you want to leave room for how you felt. So for example, I wrote jogged, period, did calligraphy, period, had coffee with mom, period, went to my friend's house, period, watched Manifest, period. I'm kind of spooked now. Which leads into my next tip, which is to write half about what you actually did that day and then half about how you felt. A lot of the times when we look back on our journals and memories, we want to know how we felt or maybe what was going on in our thoughts. So my example of I watched Manifest and I'm a bit spooked, that's a great example. Okay, another example is I talked to somebody who had 17 cats, and then I wrote I want a cat, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. My next tip is to not to think so much when you're writing this. Like literally, it takes me probably 30 seconds to write down everything. I just do it really fast. And yeah, don't think too much, just write whatever is on your mind. When you think back on your day, just write down like the main things and then just like something that you're feeling or thinking. So my next tip is to actually make a cover for the journal. So I just made this from an old t-shirt. I just sewed it together, and this is really great if you're going on trips and you don't want to get the journal dirty. I use this because I go in between my mom and my dad's house every single week, and I have to put this in my backpack where maybe it'll get dirty. So yeah, I really like having this, and it just protects it from just general wear and tear because you are going to be using this for 5 years. And my next tip, which is probably the coolest thing you can do with this journal, is that once you've done a year and then you go back and write the next year's and you read back on what you did the previous year, you can then reconnect with old friends that you haven't talked to in a long time. So I actually have a really interesting story. So basically, I have a friend named Anna, and there was one day I was just reading back on my journal. It was just like a random day. And then I read that the year before she was here visiting Vancouver. And so I actually had a dream about her that night. And then the next morning I messaged her saying, hey, like I had this weird dream about you, and it's because I read about how you were here in Vancouver exactly 1 year ago. and I hadn't talked to her for a really long time. And yeah, this is just like a really great way to reconnect with friends and kind of like to share the memories together with your old friends. Hey, by the way, give this video a thumbs up if you're getting some good ideas with what you can do with this journal or even just your regular journal. So actually in the market, there are a lot of these kinds of 5-year journals. Mine is just the plain one where there are no prompts, but there are certain types of these journals where it's like a gratitude journal, or it's like a mom journey journal, or it's a question a day journal, kind of just asking you random questions. Or you could like even make your own journal, like bullet journaling being so big right now. So let me know in the comments if you use one of these journals or if you want to try one. What's your experience with journals? Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and also subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of these personal development and journaling kind of videos. And if you missed last week's video on how journaling can change your life, then you can check it out right here. And then in the meantime, I will see you later. Okay, bye.